Okay, so how do we live a happy life? That's a big question. And I will share some of my experiences in this video with you. And yeah, maybe you will get something from this. And I'll leave the best for the end. So stay until the end, and yeah, I'll tell you the best story at the end. So the following first story happened exactly today, like 1 hour ago. Because right now at this time I shouldn't sit here. Where should I be? I should be in our rehearsal room in our studio recording the first demo tapes with my second progressive rock band. And yeah, my car broke down today. And I wanted to go to the rehearsal, or more or less to the recordings today, because we planned this like weeks ago, that today we will record um, those songs, because some of our band members will be gone for the next weeks, and we need to send those files to the studio. So it's quite urgent. But when I packed my things up and I went outside and wanted to start the car didn't want to start. Because like today I'm living in northern Germany, like in Kiel, and I have to drive like 45 minutes to the studio, the one with the other band, and like um, it was like, I think, more or less the coldest day in this winter until now. Like, yeah, maybe around -1 degrees. Maybe it wasn't the coldest, but it was like freezing, and it was snowing for one of the first times this winter. Woo! And it was beautiful. I was outside walking in the sun, so it was a beautiful day. Um, but my car broke down, and I couldn't make it to the rehearsal. And that made me do this video today, because um, it was such a brilliant example of how people react to outer world circumstances, to the the world, to the outside world. Um, because you have to imagine, like, uh, my father is not so calm like I am. He is very passionate. He's like uh, also very, like, gets angry very quickly or annoyed. Um, and he's a great father. I love him really. Um, but he might be sometimes a playboy, and like, I don't want to say a playboy. He might be a playboy. No, what I wanted to say, like, when maybe people, like, things happen in the outer world, like a car breaking down, and now one person is like getting angry and like, oh, what the, my car broke down, and he's angry and he's mad and sad, maybe, that he can make it to the studio today. And for me it was like, okay, the car broke down. It was just a plain thing that happened, but I didn't said like, this is good or this is bad. I didn't categorize it directly into, oh, this is bad. And most people would associate with, like, oh, my car is breaking down, this is something bad happening to me. No, it's not. It's just your car is breaking down. And when you get into that perspective, or when you can adapt this kind of mindset to perceive things in the outer world, like just as they are, without rating them on a scale like this is good, this is bad, whatever. Just like, okay, the car broke down. Yeah, the car broke down. What's the consequence? Okay, I can go into the studio. We can't record today. This is bad. But on the other hand, if you are connected to your intuition, to your gut feeling, and more people are getting this connection back. I see it a lot around my friends and all the people I surround myself with. It's like a lot of people have a good intuition, or they are starting to come back into the feeling, and you only get this like through living a more healthy lifestyle, mentally and physically. Then you are able to label such situations maybe even as good. And for me it was like my intuition said like, okay, this today are icy roads out there. It's like it was snowing, it's very cold out there. I have to drive like 45 minutes to get there. Get on the motorway, drive through the landside. A lot of things can happen. And my intuition said like, no. It's like God telling you, no, I broke your car today so that you can stay at home and be safe. And I was like, thank you that you broke my car. Like normal people would say like, this guy is ridiculous, he's stupid that he's saying like, thank you, your car broke, my car broke, or your car broke down. No, it's, you have to understand it, it's a mindset shift, or it's a mindset you have to adapt, like being grateful for things happening to you, even if most of the people perceiving them as something bad. Because I was able to perceive it as something good. I'm now safe at home, I'm in my warm flat, I don't risk to have an accident, because my intuition said like, maybe it's not that good to drive today. I know I'm a good driver, but the conditions are not very well, and stay at home. And I think the world would be a totally better place and less bitter place when more of us understand that how we perceive things is the most important thing as an ability to live a fulfilled and happy life. Because what do I mean by this? For example, this flat I'm in right now. It's my more or less dream flat at the moment, at this point in time, space and time. It's like my dream flat. I wanted such a flat, but I didn't know that I want such a flat before. Because before I got into this flat, and like I moved in like 2024, I was, first of all, my girlfriend said like, oh, you have to move out. And I was like, oh fuck, I have to move out, and I don't know where to stay. And it was totally bad. It was a totally bad situation. It was like in the beginning of 2024. And because we said like, okay, I couldn't work from home or whatever. It was a difficult situation. But she said one day like, I want you to move out of the flat. And I felt very bad, even for the first weeks and months, which is like legit, right? Um, but you know what happened through the process? I was like then checking for flats, and it took like a few months, like 3, 4, 5 months, until I got into this flat and got this flat. But if this wouldn't have happened to me, that my girlfriend kicked me out of her flat and said like, you can't stay here anymore because you're working all day, and I need my space, um, I wouldn't have gotten into this flat. So whatever you think about something happening on the outside, if you might think it is bad or it is good, it's just what it is. It's just, I am moving out from my girlfriend's apartment. That's it. And how I perceive it in that situation, it was like, I was not very happy about it. But on the other hand, I dreamed about living in a flat where a lot of light comes in, where I have a lot of windows. And now I'm living in this flat because this bad thing, like most of the people would say, happened to me. And it's so crucially important that we remind ourselves exactly like how we perceive things. Those things doesn't matter if they're good or bad. It's just life. And if you stay connected to yourself, to your soul, to your inner self, we all have bad days, you know. I have had bad days, like I'm a master in having bad days and don't wanting to stand up in the morning. It's not like my life is perfect, not at all. It's like, it's my life, it's happening, but it's not happening to me. It's just happening, and I'm saying like, oh, okay, this happened. Yeah, might be good. This happened. Oh, might be bad. And I also get upset about most of the time myself. And that's the key point. If you learn to, there are two things which, in my opinion, are crucial for a happy life. The first thing is to know that the outside world is not such important as we think it is, because it's, like I said, how you perceive things. So, the second one is your inner critic. It's the person who is talking all day long and every day in your head, judging you, judging about what is good, and you did that good, and no, this wasn't good, and you could have done better, and why didn't you went to sport today? Yesterday you did, but today you aren't. And you start to feel bad about yourself. So that's the inner critic. It's, for me, one thing I'm very challenged still at the moment, to keep that inner critic a little bit silent, more in control. And like in the last video, I was talking about the book, but it's laying there on the table, like from Michael Singer, The Unearthed Soul, or in German it would be like Die Seele will frei sein, something like the soul wants to be free. It's Michael A. Singer. And there he's talking about this inner voice, which is always talking, always judging, always putting things into different boxes and saying, like, this is good, this is bad, you can done better, whatever. To get the control, the first step is to get the control from your outer world. Like, see that the outer world is not controlling you. You're just perceiving it. And then you are in control of how you react to it. If you think it's something good or if you think it's something bad. Like the car broke down. For example, my dad was upset that my car broke down and I couldn't come to the recording sessions today. And I wasn't, because I was happy, like, okay, so I might not get in an accident today because I had the feeling like, that might be a little bit tricky. And the second, the second thing is that your inner critic, when you can control, for me, like, for example, when somebody's criticizing me from the outside, I know it's a reflection of their own views on me or whatever, that they're unhappy. It doesn't have anything to do with me. So the outer world is not so important for my feelings, for my emotions, because if you tell me, hey, Philip, you're shit, like, okay, doesn't matter your opinion to me. So it's like, why? Tell what you want to tell. And if you're so detached from this, you have, I think, like maybe 80% of freedom already, and you can be most of the time quite happy. And then the second thing is the inner critic, yourself, how you think and perceive things about yourself, and your own fears and your own insecurities, and we all have them. I also have them, and that's, for me, the biggest challenge at the moment still, to not criticize myself so much. And I was talking about it in the other video, where I was talking about being alone and being your best friend, because how you're talking to yourself is then the second most important thing. When you see, like, you're talking to yourself, but you wouldn't talk like this to your best friend, then why are you talking to yourself like this? And me, for example, it starts in the morning when I'm waking up from my bed. And it's like, oh, Philip, this is quite late already. Again. And it's like every morning. It's like, yeah, you wanted to stand up at 7, now it's 8. You lazy bastard. Sorry. But it's exactly what my brain is telling me. And it's such negative self-talk, which is already starting in like the first 10 minutes in my morning. And I know how important those are. That I'm working on this. And I think the first step is that we first detach from this outer world perception of this is good, this is bad, and just perceive things as things. And then the second step is really to be more happy, to get more and more in control of your negative self-talk, of your self-talk at all, and to change this negative self-talk into a loving self-talk, into a positive self-talk, more and more, being more conscious about this. Even maybe looking into the mirror and telling I love you to the person in the mirror which is standing right in front of you, and look into your own eyes and tell yourself I love you. And even as a man, I will promise you, when you have some kind of self-worth or whatever problem, and most of the people do, we all more or less have them, you will shed one tear for sure. You will cry a little bit, because telling yourself, looking yourself into the mirror, looking into your eyes and telling yourself like I love you, and truly meaning this, it's like looking right into your soul. Your eyes are the doors, are the gates to your soul. And when you look into them and you start to appreciate this person, this soul which is on the other side, this still gives me goosebumps when I'm thinking about it. And I did that. I was standing in my bathroom. I was standing while I was training or meditating or whatever, doing Kung Fu in front of my mirror, and then I got this connection to myself, and I said like, I love you. And I was crying, and I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Because I realized, oh my God, I've got a self-worth problem still, and it's bigger than I thought. And it's so important to work on this, especially when you're a man, because I think I don't like this whole softy thing which is out there, man getting more feminine and we are also soft, and men have to be men, and men have to be strong, we have to be leaders. But we also, all of us, have an inner child, and we have to appreciate this, and we have to love this inner child. We have to love ourselves. Only when we can love ourselves, we can say like, okay, fuck it, I go to the gym, or I will do 200 push-ups today, because this has priority. My health has priority. I love myself, and this is so important. And it's not a thing you reach one day and then it stays forever and you're in glory and your life is wonderful. No, it's every day. Every freaking day you have to work on this, and it's okay, because this is life, and this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Life consists of all those emotions. Life consists of being happy, being sad, being angry, being maybe sometimes depressed, but being also joyful, being loving. That's what life is about. Life is about this whole bucket of bouquet, not bucket, bouquet of flowers, and you have to embrace all of it. Every emotion, just embrace it and let it flow through you. Like I don't know if you know those dream catchers, which like this round things which have this kind of Indiana vibe with those feathers on. And I for myself feel that I have some kind of this dream catcher in my in the center of my body, and when I feel those emotions, especially when I feel like sadness and being sad and maybe losing somebody, when I lost my ex-girlfriend a few years ago, for example, because she broke up with me, I let it flow through myself like this. And you know what? When you do this, there is no emotion stuck here anymore. There's nothing like in a filter, which is like the filter gets dirty and stuck, and then when you're like 40, you get into your midlife crisis and think like, oh, what's that kind of an emotion which I didn't handle for the last 20, 30 years. So yeah, let it flow through yourself. Let it, and yeah, and when you do this, um, and it's some kind of awakening more and more, and being more conscious, being more healthy, being open. Um, it's a process. It's life, and I think it's the most wonderful thing you can do. I had the pleasure to read a lot of those books and learn about personal development, because when I was 23, I started my own business and failed miserably. Like, I don't know, 20 times. I was like rock bottom and then up and rock bottom again. But this builds character in some way. It doesn't have to be the belief that you have to hit rock bottom to grow, but it's like life is going in that kind of way. And it's going slowly up, but it's going up, down, but it's in general, it's going up. And that should be how a truly happy, fulfilled life should be lived. And I'm doing my best to do exactly this. And yeah, if you want to join me, follow this channel, and see you in the next video.